How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on the release of the latest Dying Light game. Some will refer to it as Dying Light 3, but Dying Light the Beast is coming out August 22nd, and I am incredibly excited for it, and a lot of people are super excited for it. However, there has been the talk of the price point, the content level, and it looks like we got some insight on that, as Games Radar has a very in-depth preview on the game, and I think it's become well said by Techland, by the people involved, that Dying Light the Beast, yes, while it did have the Halo ODST, the Assassin's Creed Mirage treatment, where it originally started off as a Dying Light 2 DLC. Dying Light 2, if you bought the Ultimate Edition back in the day, you were to get 2 pieces of DLC. One of those DLCs was Bloody Ties. Now it's just baked into the base game with the Reloaded Edition. However, there was going to be a second piece of DLC. It turned out that development of that DLC went on, and the scope of that DLC expanded and expanded, and they spun that second piece of DLC into a full-fledged game in Dying Light the Beast. Now, then the price point came out. It was priced at $59.99, and there was a lot of reservations. There were instances like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Again, that started off as an expansion to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it got a standalone release, and it was $49.99. This being $59.99 was a little bit alarming to people. However, seeing more of the gameplay, and the fact remains that if you bought the Ultimate Edition, you're getting this game included with your Ultimate Edition. Yes, you are getting a copy of Dying Light the Beast. I don't want to say for free, because you spent whatever it was, $120, $130 on the Ultimate Edition. Maybe it was $110, I don't recall. And if you got it on sale, then you really made out like a bandit. But one of the points of contention is, hey, is this a Dying Light 3? Is this a game that's going to be well worth my $60? Or is this more of a Dying Light 2.5 that they're charging $60 for? Well, now it is revealed that Dying Light the Beast, just the core main story, is going to be around 20 hours at length. And they are noting that with the additional content, with the side content, it will be an additional 20 to 30 hours of content on top of that. Smectala specifically noted the additional stuff that includes secrets and side activities scattered around the world will add another 20 to 30 hours. And yes, this game is a open world game. It is not a linear experience or anything like that. Now, what they noted is it is more of a dense open world, in the sense that it's not going to be the biggest open world of all time, but I've said this before, I much prefer the open worlds that are more dense, like we had with Dying Light 1, where that open world and those sections weren't gigantic, gargantuan worlds to explore. However, it felt like things had meaning. It felt like it was a well-constructed world, which I much prefer than the Assassin's Creed Valhallas of the world, that I feel like, you know, it's gigantic worlds, but it's a lot of nothingness as well. And you'll have that same level of gameplay, the parkour gameplay, the first-person adventure, and so on and so forth. But I think for a 20-hour experience, and then you're talking about a 20 to 30 hours of additional content as well, and even if that is on the higher end, let's say it's a 15-hour experience, and then the additional content is another 15 hours, and you're gonna get 30 hours of gameplay. A lot of times these days, I know people do prioritize the content level out of games, and that's fine. You're allowed to prioritize whatever you want. You're spending your own money. You can value having X amount of hours of content. However, given that this game is still $10 cheaper than the average game that's coming out, or even $20 cheaper than the Outer Worlds 2s of the world, 30 hours of gameplay, if it's quality of gameplay, you guys, I think it's more than enough. I think that's a good amount, and hey, maybe some people will rush through the main story and do only a little bit of the side content, and they're getting 20 hours to it. Again, if it's a quality 20 hours, I think that's a lot to like. I will also say, speaking of Games Radar Plus, Smectala explained how Techland approaches its playtesting in regards to Dying Light the Beast, asking the players that were involved in the playtesting to rate each quest one by one, scoring them on a scale of 1 to 5. He claims that basically all of them, with a couple of exceptions, have average scores of 80% or higher. However, he also noted that the final quest blows all of them out of the water. The last mission in the game gets the highest score score out of everything that's in the game. The scores for the final mission, he says, are close to perfect, with almost every playtest scoring the game higher than 4 out of 5. That means that the internal playtests have racked up an average internal score of 4.96, so there were probably a couple of 4s there that didn't give it the perfect 5. I mean, when you got a bunch of people scoring it, that would be to be expected, but a 4.96 for the final quest and the final mission, I should say, and that's what you want out of a game. You want everything to culminate with a grand finale. And hopefully with Dying Light the Beast, we'll get exactly that. And remember that this is a continuation of Kyle Crane's story, and Dying Light the Beast is looking to serve as the culmination of 10 years of the series. Dying Light 1 came out in January of 2015. I just did another playthrough of that game, and man, that game is still phenomenal. Gotta play through the following before the Beast comes out. I played all that, you know, around the time it came out, but going back through it and playing it again, it's crazy how that game's a decade old and it still holds up so well. And again, when you're talking about these denser experiences that I feel like, you know, it might not have 100 or 150 hours, but in my opinion, you know, am I ever gonna go back and play through Assassin's Creed Valhalla over and over again and sink in 100, 150 hours? No, I'm just not gonna do that. However, with a Dying Light, I'll go back and play through that game, and I think that's the power of having a more focused 20 to 30 hour experience versus having a lot of bloat in a 150 hour experience that, yes, you'll rack up hours out of your playtime, but to me, that's just not where I personally want my games, and I feel like Dying Light, at least Dying Light 1, found that area of it went the route of mostly killer, zero filler, and that's what I want out of my games more so, and if that requires a game to be 20 to 30 hours, and who knows how the finale of the game is going to wrap up and how the ultimate game is going to wrap up, but I do hope that core 20-hour experience is going to be worthwhile, and you are going to have that explorable option of Castor Woods for you to explore. Breathtaking next-gen visuals, get lost in the majesty of Swiss Alps-inspired Valley of Castor Woods with various biomes, tourist towns, industrial areas, national parks, farm field swamps, full of beauty and decay as well. The game is going to have 4-player cooperative play if you want to jump in and play it that way, and I should note that there is a pre-order bonus. Again, $59.99 for the base game. The deluxe edition is $70, which, you know, that's quite pricey, but pre-ordering the base game will get you the Ultimate Survivor outfit, the Haran combat knife, the Follower crossbow, In Jade's memory pistol, and the Castor Woods Patrol. The deluxe edition doesn't include anything that I think is that worthwhile for you to spend the extra $10, but if you want to support the game, official soundtrack, wallpaper pack, Castor Woods Tourist Map, Castor Woods Prepper Bundle, Castor Woods Prepper outfit, and the Survivalist SMG and the Roadhog will be included as well. Dying Light 1 is on sale on all major platforms right now. On PC, you can always find it on sale, but on PlayStation, I believe it's down to around $10 right now, or even less than that, maybe $9 for the Enhanced Edition, so definitely go and pick that up, play through that, and if you're not going to pick up Dying Light the Beast right away, add it to the wish list. I get it that the $60 price point might be a little bit hefty for some of you guys, especially if you have that vantage point of, hey, this was a DLC that they spun into a full game release, but I do know that from what I hear, Techland does want to quicken its game release cycle, because the release from Dying Light 1 to Dying Light 2 was 7 years. You're talking about half the time, exactly half the time from Dying Light 2 into Dying Light the Beast, where it's 3.5 years since the launch of Dying Light 2 that we're getting Dying Light the Beast, and this has been described as a bit of a Dying Light 3, where it is the continuation and the culmination of 10 years of development, and based on the gameplay I'm seeing, you can say it's more of the same, but it does feel like it's evolving on that as well, and I think it looks quite great. And if we're gonna get more consistent experiences out of Techland, whether it be Dying Light, whether it be different IPs, I think that's great. You know, the 7-year or 5-year development cycle I think is a little bit wild these days. If we can get more consistent releases, and hey, they're a little bit smaller in scope, they're not 80-hour games, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. But that's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.